Hello, welcome back to some 1969 APBA baseball. We have the Houston Astros at the San Diego Padres. Of course, this was the first year of the San Diego Padres' existence. This is game number 3 of 3. Yesterday, in Wednesday's action, Larry Dierker threw a no-hitter against the Padres. He missed a perfect game just by a walk to who did he walk? Ollie Brown, downtown Ollie Brown, walked in the 5th. He was raced on a double play, so it was a minimum batter faced, just one walk shy of a perfect game. So the Padres won game number 1, and as in real life, in my replay, all 4 of the expansion teams won their first games. San Diego, Montreal, the Seattle Pilots, and the Kansas City Royals all won their last game. Interestingly enough, the Royals won their game on a walk-off drop third strike, which was pretty cool. A little unusual. The Twins were in town and lost that one in heartbreaking fashion. So anyway, this is the last game of Thursday, April the 10th. And then Friday, April the 11th, we have a full slate of games where all 24 teams are in action. And then Saturday, the same. And then Sunday, I believe we have 3 or 4 doubleheaders, which was the practice back in those days. So anyway, we will get the action started. So I explained this in my last video, but I'll explain it again so those who might have missed that video know what I'm doing. So I'm doing mainly basic. I like basic APBA. The flow is what I like about it. So I have made a couple adjustments to kind of give it a little bit more realism without sacrificing the playability, for me. So there are some things that I'm willing to give up on. One was that I have incorporated into my play. The basic play is the lefty-righty splits. So pitchers are given a grade, A, B, C, and D. They have a master grade, which is a number 1 through 30. And so you can see here we've got kind of the range for those numbers. So, for example, going for the Padres today is Dick Kelly. He is a C. However, his master grade is 7. And so he is a 7, so he's kind of a low C. And then every batter has a adjustment versus lefties, and then on the left, righties on the right. And then with that adjustment, I will adjust that 7 to change the number. So Kelly is a 7, and you can see versus left-handers, Alou hits lefties, so he's +7. So the plus means that's good for the batter, bad for the pitcher. So a plus for the batter is a -3 for the pitcher. So Kelly will be dropped from a 7. -3 will make him a 4. So that will make him a D versus Kelly, because Lou hits lefties better than righties. And so as you hear me during the game, that's the adjustment I'm making. The other adjustment is the H, G, L, and M, which is for pitchers who give up too many home runs or not enough home runs. So with these adjustments, if they have these adjustments, then I will roll to see if a home run becomes a double or a double becomes a home run. Kelly does not have that adjustment, but those are a couple pitching adjustments that I made to kind of help me get a little more realism for me, but to keep the playability that I enjoy. So give that little explanation. So again, we have the rubber match here in San Diego. This is Jack Murphy Stadium. It was called San Diego Stadium in '69. Again, this is their first year of existence. So this would be their 3rd game ever. And so there we have it. A little explanation to get things going. Again, I always try to work on my layout. For me, the main thing is the cards. I like seeing, when I'm watching an APBA game on YouTube, I want to see the cards and I want to see the dice roll, so I try to make that prominent in my presentation. But we also have in the upper left the lineups with the real life stats. We have the schedule, not the schedule, the scoreboard up in the upper middle. Right below that, you have the pitcher and the batter's names. The upper right-hand corner, you got 3 lines of stats. Top line is the batter's real-life stats. Second line are their replay stats. Third line are their stats for the game. And then over on the right hand, I have the baseball cards or pictures for each player. As I said in the previous video, 1969, some of the pictures weren't that great. So as you can see with these 2 batters in particular, I am using the 1970 card because I want to see them in their uniform. And so for me, that adds a little bit of the visual that I need to kind of help make it as imaginative as possible. So those should change as we go from player to player. And I am keeping score. I have my Bob Carpenter scorebook, which you all know that I enjoy greatly. And so that might slow things down a little bit, but that's how I do it. So hopefully that won't annoy you too bad. And so without further ado, we will get going. So we've already seen versus lefties. Lou adds 3 or takes 3 away from Kelly, so he will be a D for this bat. At this point, neither of the starting pitchers have any play yet. So Kelly comes in with nothing, as you can see. So here we go. 52 is a 27. He is not an X, and so that will be grounded down to Spezio at third. Get back here to my, so I can put in the results. 1 away. So again, I have a real good flow doing this with offline, and so I'm still working on trying to get a good flow online, so bear with me till that happens. Batting second for the Astros is Joe Morgan. He's hitting 143 thus far. Versus lefties, he struggles, so that'll be -7. So that will make Kelly a 14. So that will make him a B as in boy for this at bat. 41, and that will be grounded down to Pena at second. He plays it on a couple of hops. Throws on to Davis at first, and quickly there are 2 away here in the top of the first. The toy cannon, Jimmy Wynn from Hamilton, Ohio. Wow, that's where I'm from. I didn't know he was from Hamilton, Ohio. Interesting. That's one thing about the APBA cards. I do like the stats. So he was 5'10". So he wasn't that short. 5'10's not that short. 160 pounds. So versus a lefty, he's -1, which will add 1 to Kelly. Will make him an 8. So he will stay at a C. So here is the pitch, 2 out, nobody on. And that will be gone. So he got the cannon just fired, so he gets his first home run of the year. So let's see here. I got my
back, gone. Holy cow!
So Wynn touches them all, and the Astros are out ahead 1-0. Again, Kelly doesn't have any home run adjustments on his card, so that was no doubt about that one. So that brings Doug Rader to the plate. He's hitting .333 with a double so far. Versus the left-hander, he's -3. That'll make him a 10, which is a high C, but a C nonetheless. 13, and that'll be a walk. So with nobody on first, the 14 is just about always a walk, irregardless of who's pitching, whether they have the Z or not. So Rader is a average speed, so we will not play it safe. And that brings Bob Watson, the Bull, up to the plate from Los Angeles, California. He's 0 for 8 so far, so he didn't play a lot this year. I think this was kind of his rookie year, or at least close to it. So versus a left-hander, he's +3. That'll knock Kelly down to a D. Should we change our chart here to runner on first? So 2 out. Bob Watson at the plate. Rader at first. 33, and that's a 7. It's going to be slapped to right field. Rader going on the pitch will make it around to third. Brown throws it back into second, and the Astros have him on the corner. Watson is an average speed as well, so he will, again, we will play it safe. So that brings Dennis Minke to the plate. The Astros shortstop, he's hitting .375 with a double and an RBI so far. Bear with me as I remember to keep the cards here. If I get too high, I apologize for that. Versus a lefty, -1, so that would be an 8, which will keep Kelly at a C. So Kelly trying to keep the damage to 1 run. Looks in for the sign from Canizaro. Here's the pitch. 13, 14, and he is not a Z, so that's going to, even if he was, it wouldn't matter. So that's the second walk of the inning, and the Astros have loaded the bases. Minke is a fast, so everybody on the base paths are either average or fast. That brings Kurt Blefary to the plate. Left-handed hitting Blefary, I mean. He's -8 versus lefty, so that will make Kelly a 15, which is a solid B. Here is the pitch. Bases loaded. We got 4,922 here for this Titanic struggle. The San Diego attendance was not great for a brand new team, expansion team. You would have expected better, but it wasn't great. So here's the pitch from Kelly. Big at bat here early in the game. 54, and that's going to be fly ball out to right field. Downtown Ollie Brown will get to it with no difficulties, and the damage is held to 1 run. So that will do it for the Astros. They do get 1 run on 2 base hits, no errors. They leave the bases loaded. We've played half an inning here in San Diego. The Astros are up 1. San Diego coming to back. I'm going to see if I can find a new picture for Tom Griffin there. I don't like that one, so bear with me here just a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I used his 70 card. I preferred the jacket not to be on, but at least you can see his hat. That's why I'm also okay with Rafael Robles. You can see his hat. That's a 69 rookie card. So I like to go with the 69 card whenever possible. But again, if it's something, the picture doesn't show at least the hat, I'm not crazy about that. So anyway, Griffin is a BXYW, so he's got a lot of strikeouts, but with the W, he also will give up some walks. So a little bit all-esque of Nolan Ryan. All right, so he's an 11 versus a righty. Robles is a -2, so that will make a 13. So that'll keep Griffin at a B. Let's get back to our bases empty chart. All right, he's 0 for 8 so far. Of course, he only, as you can see, he didn't play a lot this year and wasn't very successful in what he did play. Looks like he was, what, 2 for 20 to bat 100. So anyway, here's the pitch from Griffin. 23's a 26, and that's a bouncer out to Morgan. He will play it on the short hop, and that will do it for Robles here in the bottom of the first. Again, I'm usually doing this with 2 hands, but I'm trying to learn how to do it with 1 hand here for the broadcast. So 1 away. It brings Roberto Pena to the plate versus righties. He's -1, which will keep Griffin at a B. He's hitting 200, does have a home run already. 63, 31, that'll be a fly ball out to win in center field. He will track it down in right center field. Out number 2. 2 out, nobody on for Tony Gonzalez, left-handed hitting center fielder, former Philadelphia Philly. Versus a righty, he's a 0, so that'll keep Griffin at a 11B. 65, 35, and that's a grounder down to Blefary at first. He will wave off Griffin and take it all by himself for out number 3 as the Padres are retired in order. So that'll do it for the first as the Astros are up 1-0. Padres were not an offensive giant. in '69. And again, they were a expansion team. So, all right, we got 8, 9, and 1 due up for Houston here in the second. Leading off will be Johnny Edwards. He's a left-handed hitting catcher versus a lefty. He's -9. It's interesting they have as many lefties in the lineup as they do. But again, it wasn't quite as big of a deal. It was starting to become one in the 60s as far as the platooning. But -9, 16, so that will move Kelly all the way up to an A. So Edwards not good with the lefties. He's hitting .286, however, with a triple so far. 43 is a 29. Kelly is not an X, so that's bounced back to the pitcher. Kelly with some good reflexes will spirit out number 1. Next up is the pitcher Tom Griffin versus a lefty. He's -6, so he's not good with lefties either. That would make him a 13, which would drop him down to a B. That will be a strikeout. So Griffin looks at a curveball without offering at it, as he was horribly fooled. And that's out number 2. First strikeout of the day for Dick Kelly. So 2 out for Jesus Alou. +3 versus lefties, so he does like lefties, and that'll knock him down to a D as in dog. 2 out, nobody on. And that will be a re-roll. Alou gets a hold of one. 61-6, and that will be a liner into the gap in right center field. Gonzalez and Brown are on their horses. Gonzalez gets to it first, but not before it reaches the wall. Alou with good speed will come into second with a stand-up double. So 2-out double for Jesus Alou. That brings Joe Morgan to the plate. Joe grounded out to second in his first at bat, looking for a 2-out clutch hit here. He's -7 versus lefties, which will make a 14B out of Kelly. Here's the pitch. 32, 26. Let's see, that's the third baseman or second baseman. Pena is not very good, so that's a 3. But that will be a ground out to second nonetheless. And he will hurry to get the speedy Morgan. We'll do it for the Astros in the second, as Morgan grounds out to his opposite number for the second time in 2 innings. No runs a hit, no errors. They leave 1 runner on. They've left 4 on already. And that takes us to the home half of the second. Houston up by 1. Downtown Ollie Brown will lead things off here for the expansion Padres. He's hitting .200 so far. Versus righties, he's -4. It'll be a 15, so still a B, just barely. Here is the pitch. 51 is a 9 on a B, and that's a single over the shortstop, just out of Minky's reach. The Padres get a leadoff single here in the second. Bill Davis, left-handed hitting first baseman, will take his place in the batter's box. Versus a righty, he's -1. That'll keep Griffin at a B. Let's see. Bill Davis, as you can see, looks like the Padres tried a few people and realized they didn't work, as he only had 57 at bats. But go ahead and let him take a crack at Griffin here. Don't look like he's that great of a bunter either. Oh, he gets the 33-8 on a B. Oh, that's going to be an out. Hit down to Rader at first, but his only play will be to first. So 33-8, and with a 175 average. Usually 33 is the third best you can get, but with Griffin being a B on the play, that will be a ground out to third. So he is out. Runner goes to second. 5-3 on the putout as Rader throws him out. So in effect, he did a sacrifice bunt. So that'll move Brown to second. He's a fast runner, so we won't have to be playing it safe. That'll bring Larry Stahl up next. He is a -1 versus righty, so that'll keep him at a B. He's hitting .286 with a triple so far. 15 is a 9 on a B. Runner on second, so that's just going to drop over Morgan's head into right field. Brown's going to be able to score, and the Padres have tied it up. So a bloop single for Stahl, as he is jammed but able to float it out past the second baseman. And we have a 1-1 game. Larry Stahl is a fast runner, so he will not be playing it safe. That brings up Ed Spezio. Spezio has he had 2 home runs on opening day, so he's hitting .333 with a couple home runs, 3 runs driven in. 1 out. Versus a righty, he's -3, so that'll keep again. Griffin is a very low B at 11, so he needs a big boost to get up to an A, and 3 is not going to do it, so he stays at a B. 55-8 versus a B with a runner on first, and that's going to be another little dribbler down to Rader. Once again, the only play he is going to have is first, and he makes it for out number 2. Stahl will make it to second. So they get a runner in scoring position here with 2 outs. That brings up the 8th hitter and catcher, Chris Cannizzaro. Let's see if we want to walk him for the pitcher. He's not a great hitter. He's better than, he's not great against righties, but not enough to move Griffin up to an A. You like to get the pitcher up to lead off an inning, so we're going to take our chances here with Cannizzaro. So again, Griffin will be at a B on this pitch. So we got 2 outs. Stahl on second base. And here's the pitch. 16-28, and that's going to be hit down to Minke at short. He will make the play with no difficulties to retire the side. So Cannizzaro not able to come through in the clutch. However, the Padres tie it up on 2 hits. They leave a runner on. We've played 2 here at San Diego Stadium. 1-0, or 1-1 rather, Houston Astros. I didn't put their run down. 1-1. Okay, that takes us to the top of the 3rd. Jimmy Wynn will lead off. He exploded for his first home run of the season back in the 1st. Versus a lefty, he's -1, so that'll keep Kelly at a C. And here is the pitch. 63, and he strikes out on a high fastball. 1 away. It's the first time of the year for Wynn to strike out. However, he did strike out 142 times in real life, so I imagine that will be happening to him quite a bit as Kelly exacts his revenge for the home run. Brings Doug Rader to the plate. -3 is a 10, so that will keep Kelly at a C. Rader walked and got as far as third base, but was stranded there in the 1st. 46, and he strikes out. Kelly gets him with a nice changeup. 3rd strikeout of the game for Kelly, 2nd of the inning. That brings Watson to the plate. He's +3 versus lefties, so that's going to knock Kelly down to a D for this one. Watson singled and made it to second in his first effort of the game. 35 is a 42, and he gets plunked. You have to wonder about the intent on that one. Watson will take his base, however, without incident. That's a 2-out runner for the Astros rather. So that brings up shortstop Dennis Minke. He's a -1, which will keep Kelly at a C. He walked in the 1st, his first walk of the season. 33, and that's a 0. That's going to be trouble. a 22. And Kelly doesn't have any home run modifiers, and Minky has just went yard. His first of the year. 2 RBIs, 3 RBIs total for the year. So that one just gets over the left field fence.
Back, gone. Holy cow!
It's deep, and I know it's not playable.
So just like that, the Astros are up 3-1. So that's what Kelly gets for plucking Watson. Minky takes him yard. Minky had 10 home runs that season. I don't normally think of Minky as a home run hitter, but he had some that year. So that'll bring up Blefrey. Nobody on, 2 outs. Lefty versus lefty, -8-15. That'll move Kelly up to a B. Blefrey flied out to Ollie Brown in right field his first at bat. 54, and he will loft another one out Brown's way. Brown will fade over to the right field line and has plenty of time to get it for out number 3. But the Astros tack on a couple more runs here in the third on just the 1 base hit, no errors, nobody left. We go to the San Diego third, 3-1 Houston Astros. All right, 9-1-2 due up for San Diego. So Kelly will lead off. Wonder if Griffin is remembering the hit batter. We'll see. So -2 versus a righty's a 13, so that'll make Griffin a B. 33 is an 8. However, with the B, that will be a harmless fly out to win in center field. He will catch it to retire Kelly for out number 1. It brings up Robles. He is a -2, 13, so he will stay a B. 21, and that's lofted out to Lou and left. Jesus will track it down for the second out of the inning. 2 out, nobody on for Roberto Pena. He flied out to center field in his first at bat. He is a 0, so that will keep Griffin at an 11, which is a low B. 65, and that's going to be grounded to Blefrey at first. Hit hard enough that he will not need Griffin's assistance. He will take it to the bag himself to end the inning. So Griffin does a good job of retiring the Padres in order after having been given the lead. We've got 3 in the books here in San Diego Stadium, 3-1 Houston Astros. Left-handed hitting catcher Johnny Edwards due up first here in the 4th. We got 8, 9, and 1 for the Astros. He is -9, so that would be 16. So again, that'll move Kelly all the way up to an A. Edwards grounded out to Kelly in his first at bat. 45, he draws a walk this time, so that's the 3rd walk that Kelly has issued. Kelly is not terribly sharp, so they'll get a little action in the San Diego bullpen. Everybody in the stadium is expecting Griffin to lay down a bunt, which is what he is going to try to do. According to Stratomatic, he's a B bunter, so we'll see how that plays out in APBA. 31 is a 14, and that's going to be a walk, even with the sacrifice bunt. Kelly is not a Z or a ZZ, so he tries to lay down a bunt. Kelly won't let him. He ends up walking him. So that's walk number 4 in less than 4 innings. So the Astros have him on first and second. Jesus Salou up next. Jesus is doubled. That was his second double of the year. And grounded out to third. Versus a left-hander, he's +3. That'll make him down to a D. Houston bullpen working hard to get ready just in case. 21, 30. Stahl is a 2. So that's going to be a fly out to left. Edwards, who's not terribly fast out there, will not go anywhere, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So a big first out for Kelly. He did that one. One away for Joe Morgan. Lefty versus lefty. So Edwards is slow at second base. However, the Padres have a 3-1 lead, so we're going to go ahead and let him play as normal, not play it safe. Griffin at first is an average speed. All right, so Morgan versus lefties, -7. That'll be a 14, so that'll move Kelly up to a B. Joe is grounded out to Pena twice at second base. 15 is an 11, and so that's going to be a single over second base. One runner scores, the other will make it to third, and then, as you know, in an 11, that'll give Joe a chance to steal the base, which he will. I'm doing the automated steals. I'm okay with that. We'll see how it works out. So Joe Morgan will hit one over second. Griffin will go to third. Edwards will score. 4-1 Houston. So Joe able to get a hit here, even though he's typically not that great against lefties. And then he will proceed to steal on the second pitch, which will be ball 1 on Wynn. That's Joe's second stolen base of the year. So that brings up Wynn with runners on second and third, 1 out. I think the Padres are going to play the infield in. Maybe time for some relief. Let's see. Cool. So I'm checking here to see a baseball reference to see what they may have. So got Rehberger, who's not bad. And McCool is a lefty. I don't really want a lefty as you've got 3 righties coming up, so we'll go with Rehberger here. So that'll be an early shower for Kelly. That brings up Frank Rehberger. Hasn't seen any action this year so far. So be his first appearance of the year. Find his card. Rehberger. There's Rehberger. Is a B with a Y, so that's not too bad. A 10, which is a really, really low B. Maybe even a high C. He doesn't have a home run modifier. We've got the infield in. Rehberger up. Righty versus righty here. Second and third. -1. That will make him an 11. So that will move him up to a B. Jimmy Wynn's got a home run and a strikeout to his credit. So seeing if Rehberger here can keep the game from getting away from the Padres. Here is the pitch. 43 is a 29. The Padres are a 3, so 29-3. Out at first, runners hold. 1-3, so it's hit back to the mound. Rehberger looks Griffin back and is able to throw out Wynn for an important second out. So ground out, stay, 1-3. All right. He might be able to get out of this. He's got Doug Grader to face next versus a righty -1, so that'll keep him at a B. 2 outs. Morgan at second, Griffin at third. Doug Grader has walked and struck out so far today. 26, and he whiffs. So Rehberger gets the fastball by him, and he does an excellent job of keeping the damage to what it was. So it ends up being 1 run on just the 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left on. So we go to the San Diego 4th. 4-1 Houston Astros. Okay. Leading off for the Padres, rather, will be 3, 4, and 5. Tony Gonzalez, former Philly, will take his place in the left-hander's batter's box versus righties. He's a 0, so that will be an 11, which is a B for Griffin. He grounded out to Blefary at first in his first effort of the day. 25 is an 8 on a B. That's a fly ball to deep center field. Wynn retreats, but he will get there in time for the first out of the inning. Ollie Brown singled and scored in his first at bat in the second inning versus righty -4. That's a 15. That'll still be a B. 25 is an 8. There's another one hit out to center field. This time Wynn will go over to right center field. He waves off Watson. This one has been in the air for a while, and he will call it, and he will take it for out number 2. Bill Davis versus the righties, a -1. That'll be a 12, which is a B. So 2 out, nobody on. Bill Davis is grounded out to third in his only at bat today, 46, and he strikes out. So that's the first strikeout of the game for Griffin. Davis called on a third strike. His outside corner. Didn't necessarily agree. He is out nonetheless. And the Padres go in order in the 4th. So we've got 4 here in San Diego. Houston 4, San Diego 1. 5, 6, and 7 for Houston due up here in the 5th. Rehberger on for his second inning, not full inning, but did a great job getting out of a pickle in the 4th. See what he can do here in the 5th. Watson's a -4 versus righty, so that's a 14. Again, Rehberger is a really low B, so he will stay a B even with that 4-point boost. 16, and that's grounded to shortstop. Robles will play it in the hole, backhands it, makes the long throw across the infield, and he is retired. Watson is 6-3. It's the first time Watson's been retired today as he singled and was plunked. It brings up Dennis Minke with a 2-run bomb to his credit today. -1, so that's a B for Rehberger. 44 and 8 with a B, and that's hit out to center field. Gonzalez over to the left center field gap. We'll get to it in time for out number 1. So quickly 2 away for Houston. Kurt Blefary. He's a +1 versus righties, which will make Rehberger a C. Left-handed hitting first baseman. Ready to go. 61 is a 41. 61, 41. The Padres are a 3. So that's going to be hit to the shortstop Robles. He proceeds to ail-mail it over Davis's head. And before they are able to track it down, Blefary is on second. So that was a wild throw. Not sure who he was aiming at, but it didn't reach Davis. So that's an error on Robles. Runner on second, 2 out for Johnny Edwards. So again, we have the option here to do the intentional walk. Got Griffin up next, who's not a great hitter. Edwards is not great either, but they're already down by 3. Edwards is pretty good versus the lefty, so we're going to give him the free pass. Give Edwards the walk. Now bring Griffin. Griffin has walked and struck out today. Runners on first and second. Griffin versus a righty is +4. Wow. Much better versus righties than lefties, so that'll make a C out of Rehberger. We'll see how that works out. Here's the pitch. 46, and he strikes him out. So nice job by Rehberger to get out of that pickle. So that'll do it for the Astros. They get no runs on no hits, 1 error. They left 2 on. They have left 7, 8 runners on already. So the Astros have wasted some opportunities, but they still have a 4-1 lead. All right. Larry Stahl leading off here for San Diego. Left fielder, left-handed hitter. He's drove in the only Padre run so far with a single to drive in Ollie Brown in the second. Versus right-handed pitchers, he's a -1, which would be a 12, which would be a B for Griffin. 61, that's a hit down to the shortstop, Minky. And he will retire with a nice throw to Blefrey, out number 1. Spezio, he grounded out to third. Versus righties, he's -3, so that'll be a 14B for Griffin. 65, and that's hit down to Blefrey as Spezio slaps one the other way. Blefrey will have time to take it himself. Out number 2. Canizaro grounded out to short to end the second. He has the opportunity to end the 4th or 5th as well. He's a -2. That'll make a B out of Griffin. 52 is a 27. Griffin is an X, so he proceeds to whiff Canizaro. Nice high fastball. Canizaro doesn't swing at it, but it's up in the strike zone. Strikeout number 2 of the day for Griffin. And he is getting in a groove here against these lowly Padres. So he's retired 9-11 in a row. Go to the top of the 6th. 4-1 Houston Astros. I bit my page. All right. Top of the order for Houston. Again, Rehberger doing pretty well in relief so far. We'll start off with Alou versus a righty. That's -3, so that'll keep Rehberger as a B. Alou has a double and 3 at-bats. 22, and he will slap that the other way between Pena and Davis. Brown will field it and throw it back in. So Alou with another base hit. Second of the day. He has fast speed, so they will not play it safe. That brings Joe Morgan up. Joe is 1 for 3 with a single, a RBI, and a second stolen base of the year. So he's glad to have that lefty out of the game. So he's +1, so that will make Rehberger a C. 41 is a 26. That will be the second baseman. Pena is a 6, which is a 3 column. So that will be a fielder's choice. So Pena will field it. He'll get it to Robles, but that will be all they'll be able to get as the ball was hit relatively slow. So it was, they was barely able to nip Alou at second. So she has a fielder's choice. Fielder's choice. 4-6. 1 out here. Morgan is fast as well. 1 away. Fielder's choice. That brings that brings Jimmy Wynn to the plate. He has a home run, strikeout, and a ground out. Versus righties, -1. That will make Rehberger a B. Here is the pitch. 64 is a 12. Again, the Padres are a 3 fielding team. So that will be a W, would be a walk, but Rehberger is not a W. So that's another grounder down to Pena at second base. He fires onto second. Robles goes to first, and Wynn is able to beat it out. Nice slide by Morgan to break up the double play there. Don't see that much anymore. A lot of that happened back in 1969. 4-6 on the fielder's choice. So the Astros just keep replacing first base runners at first. As Wynn takes his place over it. Takes his place. He is fast as well. Doug Rader versus a righty, -1. That'll make a B out of Reberger. We got 2 out. Win on first base. 64 is another 12. And that will be grounded down to Pena. He will go to second for the 3rd time this inning. They don't need any more than that. 4 to 6. You don't see that too often. 3, 4 to 6 fielders' choices in 1 inning. So no runs, a hit. They leave that runner on. And it is still 4-1 Houston. All right, Padres seeing if they can figure out Griffin here. So far they have 2 base hits and 1 run. Got Reberger is up. He's doing a pretty good job, and it's still early enough in the game. I think we might go ahead and let him hit. I think that's what we'll do. So Reberger is a left-handed hitter. Get him in my scorebook as a hitter. He's a pitcher. He is neither fast nor slow. Versus righties is +1, so that will make a C out of Griffin. 26, and Griffin strikes him out with no difficulties. 1 away for Robles, who's 0 for 2. Righties -2, that'll make a B, 13 out of Griffin. 33s and 8, and again that's another hit hard out to center field, right on the screws this time, but still the same result as when we'll catch it for out number 2. Brings Roberto Pena. He is 0 for 2 today, as many of the Padres are. Versus righties -1, that'll make a 12B out of Griffin. 55 is an 8, and there's another fly ball out to center field. Wynn earning his paycheck today. We'll get to it for the 3rd out of the inning. Top of the 7th here in San Diego. Astros are still clinging to a 3-run lead, looking to take the series 2-1. Bob Watson lead off. He's singled and hit by a pitch, scored a run. Reberger on for his almost 4th inning of work. So versus a righty, it's -4. That'll make a B out of Reberger, a high B. 33-7, and Watson slaps one over Pena's head into the alley. He's chugging around first, but Gonzalez will get there in time. He will hold him to a leadoff single. So that'll get the bullpen going for the Padres. Dennis Minke has got a 2-run home run today and 2 at-bats rather. He does have a walk as well. -1, that'll be a B for Reberger. And here is the pitch with Watson on first. Watson is an average speed. 32s, a 26. It's hit down to Pena rather, who is a 3 column, so 26. So that will be hit hard enough to get Watson at second. That will be the extent of what they're able to get, as we have yet another 4-6 fielder's choice. Menke is fast at first. Blefrey will make Reberger a C, 9C. Blefrey has reached on an error in 3 trips. 51 is a 9 on a C, and that's going to be hit down to the 3rd baseman. Spezio will not be able to get Menke, so he will take the only out he can get, which will be Blefrey at first. 5-3. So Menke will be in scoring position with 2 out. Johnny Edwards, so we have the opportunity to walk him here again. That worked out pretty well. And I don't think the Astros are going to pinch hit for Griffin. Edwards, of course, it makes him a C2. I think we're going to take our chances with Edwards this time. Let's see if that backfires or not. Edwards has walked twice, once intentionally and once otherwise. So Rehberger going to face Edwards here, man to man. And again, he's a C with Edwards +1. So we got Minky at second, 2 outs. Edwards at the plate. 62, and Rehberger wins this one with a strikeout. Edwards fooled with that changeup. We'll leave with the bat still in the cocked position. We got the 7th inning stretch time. No runs, a hit, no errors, a runner left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Astros 4, San Diego 1. Let's see, we got our trivia question. Name one of the last 2 managers to work in street clothes. Well, I know Connie Mack did. I'm trying to remember who the other one is. To be honest, I can't remember who the other one was, but I did get 1 out of 2, so I guess that means I win. Bert Schotten was the other one. How about that? All right. So Griffin will take a 3-run lead into the bottom of the 7th. We got 3, 4, and 5 due up for the San Diego Padres. Tony Gonzalez will step into the left-handed batter's box. He is 0 on righty, so that will keep Griffin at a B11. Gonzalez is 0 for 2 this evening. So we have a night game here in San Diego. 32, and that's hit a line drive to Morgan. He plays it on a short hop, and he will get Gonzalez with plenty of time to spare. 1 out. Oop. Made it a 3 unassisted, and that's not what we want to do. All right, so we got a ground out. 4, 2, 3. Again, I'm still learning to do this one-handed, so bear with me. Ollie Brown's got a single and 2 at-bats. He's a -4 versus right-handers, which is a high B for Griffin. 42, and he strikes out. So strikeout number 4 of the day for Griffin. Quickly 2 out here in the 7th. Bill Davis is 0 for 2. -1. That'll be a B for Griffin. Again, he didn't play a lot this year. 23, and he strikes out. So Griffin has just ate his Wheaties, apparently in between innings. Strikes out 2 out of 3, which will give him 5 strikeouts for the game. Let's see. He's retired a mountain in order. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 3 is 15, 17 in a row have been retired. So Griffin is on a roll. And he will lead off here in the top of the 8th. So we'll see if Rehberger can make it till the next time his position in bat comes around. So that's a +4. So Griffin can hit righty. So again, that'll make Rehberger a C. Griffin is 0 for 2 with a walk, 2 strikeouts. 14, and that's a fly ball out to Stahl in left. Can of corn, as they say in Iowa. 1 out. So they say Frank Rehberger is tired. Stratomatic does. So take that into account. So I'd like to see if he can get through this inning, as he is due up 4th next inning. Jesus Alous, 2 for 4 today. -3 versus righties will be a 13B for Rehberger. 16, 28, and that's hit down to Robles up the middle. Ranges behind the bag, makes a nice pickup. Good throw to first to retire the speedy Alous. Alous pretty quick, so he didn't have a lot of time to spare. But he was hit hard enough that he had the time and the skill to make the play. Joe Morgan, a +1, will bump Rehberger down to a C. Joe again is 1 for 4 with a stolen base and an RBI. 42, and he draws a walk. So Joe walked 110 times, so he's always been one to have a good eye at the plate. It'll be his 3rd walk of the season. That's the 2nd walk of Rehberger's given up today. So a 2-out walk will put Joe at first. He's fast. Win at the plate. Dangerous hitter, as we know. Versus a righty -1, so that'll make Rehberger a B. We got 2 outs. Joe Morgan on first. Top of the 8th. Here is the pitch from Rehberger. 24, and he strikes him out. So nice job by Rehberger. He's really done a good job here for the expansion Padres. He whiffs the toy cannon. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave another runner. They've left quite a few this evening. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-1, Houston. So Griffin will start with the left fielder Stahl, who is 1 for 2 today, has an RBI, the lone RBI of the Padres today. 41, and that's a ground ball down to short. Minky will charge and throw to retire Stahl. 1 away. Spezio's 0 for 2, grounded out twice to both sides of the infield. He's a -3, so that'll be a B for Griffin. 13, and that'll be a walk. 2nd walk of the year for Spezio. 1st walk of the day by Griffin. Again, that's the first base runner they've had since the 2nd inning, so he has been in the zone. So Cannizzaro, we'll see if he can keep things going. It's a -2, so that'll make a B out of Griffin. Of course, the Astros at double play depth. 45, and he draws a walk. So Griffin is a W, so definitely not a Z, so that hasn't haunted him too much, but here we go. So Cannizzaro with a walk. Put him on 1st and 2nd. So that will be it for Rehberger as his place comes up in the bat. So he gets a nice round of applause from the 4,000 in attendance here. So let's see who the Padres have in so they don't have any left-handed batters on the bench. So let's see, they got a righty, so find somebody who maybe is even. I think they'll go with Morel. So that brings on Ivan Morel. Going to pinch hit. Ivan Morel. There's Ivan Morel from Panama. He is a fast runner. So the Padres got the bullpen going as Morel is the tying run versus righties. He's a 0, so that will keep Griffin at an 11. Here's an important pitch here in this game. Griffin trying to keep that 3-run lead. Oh, that's not good. That's going to be a re-roll, so he gets a hold of one. 61 is a 2. We have, what is he? He's a B. A 2 is a home run unless it's a double column result, which it is, which you go to 5. So that's a triple to right field, so that's over the head of Blefrey. It rolls around over into the bullpen. Watson's will go over there and chase it down as everybody in the bullpen tries to get out of the way, but not before Morel is in with a triple, and that was his first at bat of the year, and it was a big one. So Morel will slide into 3rd with a big triple. Obviously his first of the season. First triple, 2 runs driven in. That brings Robles up. So, got one out. They're going to bring the infield in, of course. Griffin has pitched pretty well. Let's see if he can get Robles. Robles is a -2, so that'll make a B out of Griffin. Runner on third, the infield in, one out. Morel is again a fast runner. Here we go. See if he can hang on to this one-run lead now. 45, and he walks Robles. Not what you want to do. Robles is not that good of a hitter, but he walks him nonetheless. That brings Pena to the plate. He's 0 for 3. Got him on the corners. He's -1. That'll make a B. Man, he's had such a good game. You have to feel like he's still got the mojo. Got runners on the corners, so we're going to play the corners in. Hope for a double play up the middle. And here we go. We're going to give him a chance. Again, things 69 here, so we're going to see if he can get out of this jam by himself. Here we go. Got a big at bat. Oh, not good. Pena's going to get a hold of one. 44. He doesn't have a home run adjustment, and Pena has taken it deep. His second home run of the game, of the series, and that hurts. In real life, San Diego swept this series. That hurts. 3-run home run by Pena, who doesn't have a lot of power. So obviously the Houston fans question the manager's decision to leave Griffin in for that one. Second home run of the season by Pena. And that will do it for Griffin. Let's see where he's due to bat. Not for a while, so we'll go ahead and let's see who we got here. We're with Billingham, perhaps. We'll go with Billingham. All right, so not good for the Astros. So I'm not crazy with Billingham's picture there, so I'm going to see if I can find something better. Bear with me a sec. Okay, couldn't find a baseball card that I liked of his, so I did find this, so that will work good for Billingham. So as you can see, he is a D with an X and a Z, so he's got good control. He does give up more than his share of homers, so he is an M in that category. So Tony Gonzalez will step up with the bases having been emptied by Pena versus a righty. He's a 0, so that will keep Billingham at a D. Gonzalez is 0 for 3 today. 26 is 27, and he is an X, so Billingham strikes out Gonzalez. Billingham does have 1 inning of work where he did not give up any runs. Strike out for out number 2. Ollie Brown's 1 for 3 versus a righty's -4, 8, so that will move Billingham to a C. 33, and that looks like Billingham's hung one. 34, and that's an 11, so that's going to be a solid single to left. A little 2-hop-aloo. Ollie Brown is in with a single. And he will proceed to steal second base. His first stolen base of the season. So a single, that's 5 hits for San Diego. Second hit for Brown. So that brings Bill Davis to the plate. He's the only Padre to not bat this inning. So versus a righty, that's -1, so that's a 5, so that's just not enough for a C. Davis is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. 45, and with first base open, that's going to be a walk, even though he is a Z. So Davis gets his first walk of the season. First walk given up by Billingham, so he's trying to work himself into a bit of trouble here. They're just down by 2, and I'm sure they would like to stay that way going into the 9th. Larry Stahl, we'll see if he can do something about that, though. Excuse me. All right, first and second, Stahl with -1. That'll be a D for Billingham. Stahl's 1 for 3 today. 16 is a 29. And they are a 2. So that's going to be bounce back to the mound. Billingham goes there. He's an Astro. So good job by Billingham. Excuse me. That's not too loud. All right. Back in the flow of things here. All right. So he's on 1 to 3. So they get 5 runs, a big inning. 1, 2, 3, just 3 hits. There were no errors. He left 2 runners on. We go to the top of the 9th. San Diego with a 2-run lead. So they will have to bring in a pitcher here. See who they're, I don't know if they had a closer. 69, some teams had closers and some kind of didn't. Looks like McCool had 7 saves. They didn't have anybody that was that great. Let's see who the Padres got. 3 righties and then 2 lefties. Looks like maybe Sisk might be the best option. Going to bring in Sisk here. Let's see, Morel. We'll bring in Sisk. All right, so Tommy Sisk brought on to see if he can save it here. Right-handed pitcher. Go back to our right chart. Sisk has pitched 3 innings. A 3 ERA. I believe he did that on opening day. So he is a D with an R. So not very good. That's what they got. So a D with an R. He's a 4, which is a high D at least. He doesn't have any home run modifiers. So Sisk, see if he can do as well as Rehberger did. All right, here we go. Got 4, 5, and 6 due up for Houston. Raider versus the righties, -1, so that will bump him to a 5, which is still a D, unfortunately, for the San Diego fans. Raider is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. I dropped the dice. Thankfully, I have a spare. 65, 35. That's going to be hit hard down to Davis at first. He will have time to do it himself for out number 1. Big first out of the inning. That first one's always important. Brings Bob Watson to the plate. He's 2 for 3, couple singles, hit by pitch. Versus righty, he's a -4, so that will move Sisk to a C. 66 is a 6 versus a C, and that's hit deep to right center field. That's going to hit the wall, bounce off. Bob Watson will be in with a double. His first double. That brings the tying run to the plate. Bob Watson with his second hit, or third hit rather, of the game. First double of the season. That brings Minky up. Got Sisk, -1. That'll be a D still. Minky has got a 2-run home run. A 2-run home run here would tie it up. 15 is an 8, and he's a D. Watson has average speed, so that's a single over second base, and the runner's going to score. Hit over Pena's head. Gonzalez will race over to right center field to cut it off. The Astros have drawn to within 1. That brings Kurt Blefrey to the plate. The tying run on first. Blefary versus righties is a +1. That'll be a D. Again, the Padres really don't have anybody any better. Got Dukes, who's horrible. Santorini might be a better option, and then McCool. Not much better. Don't have any lefties. The only lefty, William McCool's a lefty. Blefary is not good against lefties, but I'm sure that the Padres got some people on the bench. Let's see, Miller, righties. They got McFadden. They actually don't have. So I think the Padres are going to go with McCool here. I don't like his picture, but I'll save it. I'll fix it later. So that brings up Billy McCool. Is a lefty. From Batesville, Indiana. I know where that's at. He is a CW, so that W could be troublesome. He's a 7. And he has an H, so he can stop some home runs. And again, the Astros don't have anybody in the that can hit. All their right hand. They got 3 righties on the bench, and they all hit under 200. We'll go ahead and take our chances with Blefary here. We got runner on first, so versus the lefty, that's -8. 15, that'll make McCool a B, just shy of an A. Blefary is 0 for 4, reached on a 2-base error. Minky is fast at first, so that's good for the Astros. Here we go. 25 is a 9 on a B, and he beats out an infield single. So Blefary hits one down, slow roller down the first base line. McCool over to get it. He tries to tag him, misses, and that will put runners on first and second. So infield single for Blefary, his first hit of the day, the 10th hit for the Astros. That brings Edwards to the plate. Runners on first and second. Boy, this is turning into an exciting one. Edwards versus the lefties a -9, so that's enough to make McCool an A. But again, their right-handers on the bench are just horrible. So they're going to go with Edwards here. First and second, Edwards is 0 for 2. He's got 2 walks, scored a run. Oh, how about that? He gets a hold of one. That's a 6 on an A. And that's hit down out to left center field. Oh, wait a minute here. Blefary is slow. So what are we going to do about him? I didn't make a decision. I'd say with 1 out, I would have said that they were going to play it safe with him. So that will be that'll be Blefary to third. With 2 outs, I might have risked it, but that ties the ball game. So that Minky scores. Blefary to third. Edwards with a RBI double. His first double of the year. That brings up Billingham's spot. So again, don't have a lot to go on here, but they'll have to go with what they got. The infield will be in for whoever is up. Let's see, we got Torres. Maybe who's got the best on base percentage. Looks like that might be Bryant. Let's go with Torres. Don't have a lot of options here. All right, Hector Torres is a righty. Pinch hitter. Let's see, Torres. There's Hector Torres from Monterrey, Mexico. He's yet to have an at-bat this year. He is a fast runner. So the infield is in. Runners on second and third. He's not a good bunter. We might consider a suicide here. I don't know. Blefary, again, is slow, as is Edwards. There's one out, so we're going to play it safe with both those guys. So versus a lefty, Torres adds 6, so that will knock McCool down to a D. Let's see. I don't think they've really got anybody else. Got Santorini. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring Santorini in for McCool. Well, hang on a second here. Let's see what they got on the Geiger, Geronimo, and Norm Miller. So they actually got some good guys. So I'm actually going to not do that because they've got some good left-handed. They do have some good left-handed bats on the bench. So let's not do that. We're going to stay with McCool. Take our chances with Torres. All right. So Torres, second and third. He's a D. They got the infield in, one out. Again, Edwards at second, Blefary at third. 31 is a 23. They are a 3. Oh, how about that? Line drive to the center fielder. And the center fielder would have been a triple play if they would have not been 2 outs. But as it is, he throws to, makes a shoestring catch. Gonzalez does in center field. And he will throw to third to get the runner at third. So Blefary thought didn't think he had it, and he did. So let's fly out. Blefary is out. 8-5, and that's a double play. So how about that for a turn of events? Fly out, double play. He's the second out. Blefary is out. 8-5, out number 3. So they do get 2 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4 base hits. No errors. They leave 1 on. So we are tied at 6. Torres. So Houston's got to find a pitcher. I think they've got a bit more on the bench than the Padres have left. So Houston, let's see. The Padres have the bottom of the lineup, quite a bit of righties. So let's see what we got righty-wise. Got Gladding, got Ray, Womack. Got some lefties there. We'll go with Womack. All right, so Dooley Womack. Take the mound for the Astros. He's a righty. Get his card. So he's not in here, so he must belong to another team. Was traded apparently. So hold on a second, let me find him. I will pause the game. Okay, Dooley Womack was with the Seattle Pilots. I guess he was traded there later in the year, so he is a BY with a Z modifier, so got good control, a little bit of strikeout power. He is a 10, so at the bottom of the 9th, 6-6. Ed Spezio will lead off versus a righties. He's a -3, which will make Womack a 13, which is a B. Spezio is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. So here we go. 41 is a 24, and that's grounded to Minky at short. Will make the play with no difficulty, 1 out. 6, 3. Brings up the catcher Canizero, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. He's -2, which is a 12, so that will make Womack a B. 22, 8 with a B, and that's lofted out to win in center field. He will come on toward the infield and make the play at the knees. Out number 2. That brings up McCool's place. With 2 outs, they don't have a lot of relievers left. Let me look and see. So basically, they got Santorini, and he's just starts quite a bit. So they could go with Santorini, but they'd have to stick with him till the end. So I think they may go ahead and just stick with McCool in case this goes a while. So that is Billy McCool is a pitcher, and McCool is a normal speed. So Morel's already been used. McCool. All right. So McCool is a right-handed hitter, even though he throws left. 2 outs, like I said. Padres are thinking long-term here. 12 is 25. He is not an X, so that's grounded to second baseman Morgan. He will get to it in the inning. 4-3. All right, extra innings. Padres go in order. Go to the 10th. 6-6. We got the top of the order for the Astros. Jesus Alou is 2 for 5 with a double. He is versus a lefty as a +3. That'll knock Womack down to a 7, which is still a C. He's a 10. I'm sorry. We've got McCool. McCool's a 7, so dropping him to a 3 will actually drop him to a D. So here we go. Jesus Alou steps in. Again, I need to change McCool's picture when I get a chance. 53 is a 17. That's to the right fielder. Unfortunately, Brown is a 1. So 17-1. That's going to be a single. The batter's going to make it to second on an error. So Alou hits a line drive. Brown comes in to field it, and it gets by him. And Alou will make it into second with the single and the error. That's on the right fielder. So not how you want to start the 10th here if you're a Padre fan. That's the 3rd hit by Jesus Alou today. He reaches on an E9. Second error by the Padres. And that brings Joe Morgan to the plate. Got Alou on second. He's fast. Again, Morgan not great against lefties, so that's a 7-14. That'll make a B out of McCool. 21 is a 32. That's hit out to Brown. Alou's, that's going to be deep enough that Alou's going to be able to tag up and make third. So fly out, he goes to third. So get that runner to third, so that was important. So the Padres will bring the infield in. First out for Wynn. Oh, gee. Got a bunch of righties here in a row. You almost have to go with Santorini at this point. I think that's what they're going to do. So they're going to have to stick with him, though, if it goes longer. All right, so that will be it for McCool. 5th pitcher for the Padres. So Al Santorini is a righty. Santorini. he is. From Irvington, New Jersey. 6 foot, 190. Is just a plain old boring C. A 6, so he's a pretty low C. He does have the G, however, which is possibly lower a home run. All right. So they bring in the righty to face Wynn. Got runner on third, one out. The infield in. -1. That makes him a 7, which is still a C. Here we go. Wynn has a home run way back in the first. That's all he's done today. 62. He's going to draw a walk. It's his second walk. He walked 148 times and struck out 142. So we'll set up the possible double play. Got him on the corner. The Padres are going to play the corners in, hope for the double play up the middle. Got Rader coming up versus a righty. He's -1, so that'll keep Santorini at a C. So again, looking for the double play up the middle. Rader is 0 for 4 with a walk. 54 is a 32. And again, that's out to Brown, which is a 1, so 32. But that's going to be not deep enough to get him in. So that's a fly ball, and it's going to be a shallow fly ball. And not deep enough to get a Lou from third. So big out there for Santorini. Number 2. So it's up to Watson. Infield back at normal depth. He's -4. 10. That will keep Santorini at a C. Again, even with a 4, he's a really low C. Watson's 3 for 4 today with a double. He's had a good game. 53 is a 21. They are a 3. And that's going to be a single in front of the plate. The runners advance 1 base. So Watson hits a little nubber. Cannizaro is out behind the plate, and he's not able to get to it, and they're going to credit him with a single. So 53, 21, runners on first and third. That's going to be an infield single, and the Astros go on top. 7-6. So Lou's able to score. Wynn will go to second. That'll be a RBI. That's hit number 4 today for Watson. His first RBI of the game. That brings Minky to the plate with runners on first and second. Minky is a -1, so that's a 7, a C for Santorini. And I missed the tower, so I always re-roll when that happens. 26 is a 27. He's not a K. 27 is the third baseman, who is a 3. That's going to be a ground out to third. So Spezio fields it. Throws on to first. 5-3. And that'll do it, but the Astros take the lead. They get a run on 1-2 hits. One costly error by Ollie Brown in center right field. They leave 2 runners on. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Houston 7, San Diego 6. So Womack, see if he can seal the deal. I don't think the Astros got anything any better. Got Ray. No, they really don't. Gladding. Yep, they're gonna live or die here with Womack. They got the top of the order. Got Robles, who is -2. It's a 12, so that'll be a B. Robles is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. 15 is an 18. 18 is to the shortstop, and it's going to be an error no matter who it is. So 15, 18, yep. So Minky with a 1 base error. First error by the Astros today. 3rd overall. That brings up Pena, who was the hero with a 3-run bomb back in the 8th. That's an E6. Error on Minky. Check Good sacrifice here. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to see if they can advance that runner. 56 is a 34. And that's not going to do it. So that's going to be hit down to Rader at third. And it's hard enough that he goes to Minky at second base. And that will be a fielder's choice. So he's not able to get the job done. 5-6 on the fielder's choice. They are down to their last 2 outs. 5-6. Out number 1. Fielder's choice. Pena is an average speed. Brings Tony Gonzalez to the plate. He's 0 for 4 today. 091 so far in the season and on the series. Versus a righty, he's a 0, so that's a 10. So that'll keep Womack at a C. Here is the pitch. 61 is a 32. Watson is a 1. So that's a fly out to right field, but runner holds. So Watson's able to get to it, 2 away. So it's up to Ollie Brown. He made that big error in the top of the inning, so he'd like to redeem himself here, I am sure. Versus a righty, he's -4. That'll make a B out of Womack. He is 2 for 4 today, has a couple singles. He has a stolen base. Scored a run. Big at bat here. Down to Ollie Brown. 16's a 28. And that's going to be hit to, let's see, he's an 8. So that's 2. And that's going to be hit to Minky, and he's going to go the long way. Out to stay 6-3, and the Astros are victorious. So in 10, the Astros have 7 hits, or 7 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. Padres 6 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. Get the box score here. Look at it real quick. So the win goes to Womack as he pitches 2 innings of relief to go 1-0. The loss goes to McCool. He drops to 0-1. His first blown save of the year. And of course that 1 run that scored was unearned. And so he was a victim of Ollie Brown's lack of fielding out there. And so there you have it. So the Astros take the series 2-1. Again, in real life, Houston swept this series, or the San Diego swept this series, and San Diego had a pretty bad year. They ended up being 52-110, so they're off to a worse start. So they, instead of winning 3, they only won 1, and so Houston's off to a 2-1 start. So anyway, there you have it. Appreciate you stopping in. As usual, if you have any suggestions about what could make this more interesting, feel free to chime in. Again, I kind of set this up as I think I would enjoy it. And so the things that I like the cards and the dice, I like the baseball cards and the APBA cards. Those are the things I really want to see. And again, the other things, the only thing I could think of would be where the base runners are. But I can't really think of a good way to do that on the screen. I try to do it in the play-by-play, kind of like the radio. Kind of reminds you who's on where, what base. But at any rate, feel free to chime in with any suggestions. I'd be willing to listen and see what I could do about it. But anyway, I appreciate it very much, and I will see you next time.